Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're taking a stack of sources today and really pulling out the most important nuggets of knowledge for you.
And our topic is Bordeaux.
Exactly. And not just for its wine, which, is world famous. We're diving into the city itself. Because what's so fascinating about Bordeaux is this stunning architectural tension it has.
Right. It's a balancing act.
A perfect balance, really, between the very strict 18th century classicism that defined its golden age, and then these audacious experimental designs of the 21st century.
And that's our mission today, to understand how this city is a sprawling UNESCO World Heritage Site, which usually means, don't touch anything.
Right, preservation above all.
While at the same time, it's undergoing this massive, constant transformation. How do you honor the past while building the future?
So we're going to trace that story using two huge structures. First, the Grand Théâtre, our neoclassical anchor.
And then its modern successor, La Cité du Vin.
And after that, we'll zoom out and look at the whole urban strategy, this Bordeaux Port of the Moon plan. It's basically the playbook for how this city manages to do it all. It's a real study in managing a living, breathing city.
Okay, let's get into it.
So let's start at the beginning, or at least the beginning of Bordeaux's neoclassical peak. The Grand Théâtre.
This was a huge project commissioned by the Duke of Richelieu, designed by the architect Victor Louis. It opened on April 7th, 1780.
And it was an immediate sensation.
Oh, absolutely. Instantly hailed as a masterpiece of 18th century art. Pure neoclassical style.
And it wasn't just a pretty building. It was a statement of power, of culture, right before the French Revolution. But what makes it so special, technically speaking?
Well, architecturally, it's a marvel, and a couple of facts really stand out. First, the acoustics.
Yes.
They're considered exceptional, even by today's standards, and that's attributed specifically to the internal structure, which is almost entirely wood. It resonates almost like a giant violin. And second, there's the facade. It's so dramatic and very symbolic. You have this main portico with 12 huge Corinthian columns, and on top, 12 statues.
The 9 muses and 3 goddesses.
Exactly. Venus, Juno, and Minerva.
I love that detail from the sources, though, about the rush to get it finished.
It tells you so much, doesn't it? They were in such a hurry to open that only 8 of the 12 statues were actually done for the inauguration in 1780.
So they just opened with empty spots.
For a while, yes. The final 4 had to be sculpted later by Pierre Barouer. They were put in place about 2 years after the theater was already open. They just couldn't wait.
That urgency makes so much sense when you hear about the social function of the interior.
You mean the grand staircase?
Yes. It wasn't just a staircase. Victor Louis designed it as a, and this is a quote, stage set in its own right.
It was absolutely for the aristocracy of the ancient regime. You have to picture it. These broad, elegant flights of stairs with low banisters.
So everyone could get a perfect view.
A perfect view of the fine apparel, the elaborate hairstyles as people ascended. It was a conscious design choice for the elite to see and to be seen. The show started before the curtain even went up.
It's fascinating, though, how this permanent structure had to constantly adapt to new tech. Let's talk about the lighting. Originally, it was just candles, right?
Hundreds of them placed around the cornice. It must have been a beautiful, shimmering spectacle.
Oh, with a major problem.
A huge problem. The sources are very clear that the hot wax would drip down onto the audience in the pit below.
Oh, no. Can you imagine? Paying to see an opera and getting covered in candle wax?
It really puts things in perspective. So naturally, that drove a huge push for upgrades.
First to fish oil lamps in 1793.
Then the big one. Hydrogen gas lighting in 1827.
Which just sounds incredibly dangerous in a massive wooden building.
Extremely dangerous. But that push for modernity was unstoppable. Then they moved to standard town gas in 1853, and finally, electricity by the end of the century.
So the lighting system alone basically maps the entire Industrial Revolution. It's incredible.
It is, and that magnificent crystal chandelier we see today, the 1.2-ton one, that wasn't installed until 1917.
And even with all that change, it's still a temple to performance.
Absolutely. It's home to the National Orchestra of Bordeaux Aquitaine, the ballet, the chorus. It's the city's cultural pulse.
And the history. Legendary actors like Talma, Berlioz's muse, Harriet Smithson, even ballet pioneers like Marius Petipa got their start there. Okay, let's fast forward 236 years. We're jumping across the Garonne River to the modern icon, La Cité du Vin.
The city of wine.
It opened in June 2016, And it's just this immediate, shocking contrast to the Grand Theater's perfect symmetry.
It's just audacious. That's the only word for it. It was designed by XTU architects, and they deliberately wanted to capture the fluid essence of wine.
You can really see it looks like wine swirling in a glass.
Or a coiled grapevine, or the flow of the river itself. They called the form a seamless curve, intangible and sensual.
And it's enormous. We're talking 13,350 square meters, 10 levels, a 55-meter tower.
But here's a key detail that ties back to Bordeaux's heritage. The inner structure is all wood, and it's designed to look like the frame of a ship, a nod to the port city's history.
An engineering masterpiece. 574 unique curving arches.
And all of them different. It's incredible.
Now, a building like that, so iconic, so complex, it must have cost a fortune. These things always go way over budget.
Except this one didn't. And that's where this becomes not just a design success, but a managerial triumph for the city. The final construction cost was only 81 million euros.
Wait, only 81 million for that? That seems shockingly low.
It's financially revolutionary. It was way lower than the average, which is around 200 million for similar French leisure sites. They built an international landmark for less than half the comparable cost.
That just speaks volumes about how this city manages its growth.
And that smart philosophy extends to the visitor experience inside.
Designed by Kassan Man, it's this huge, immersive, multi-sensory journey.
It's not a linear museum tour. It's 19 different themed spaces. You can visit the Banquet of Legends, where you have holograms of Voltaire and Churchill discussing wine.
Or the terroir table, with winemakers from all over the world sharing their secrets.
It's more like a huge interactive art installation than a museum.
And it all ends at the Belvedere.
Yes, the crowning moment. You go up 55 meters in the tower, you get a tasting of one of 20 world wines, and you're surrounded by this chandelier made of thousands of bottles, all with a panoramic view of the city.
So you're literally looking from the future back at the past.
Exactly.
So we have this stately 18th century gem and this swirling 21st century vessel. How on earth does Bordeaux hold this all together? What's the secret?
The secret is its UNESCO designation, Bordeaux, Port of the Moon. But here's the key. They don't treat it like a museum piece. Their guiding principle is that urban conservation is, and I'm quoting, the management of transformation which enables history to endure.
So it's not about freezing the past.
Not at all. It's about making heritage a living, evolving part of the future.
And to manage that, they had to reckon with their more difficult 20th century history, right? The parts that broke from that beautiful classical style.
Yes, exactly. They've defined 3 key districts that represent this tension. First is Bassins-à-Flot. That's the old industrial port where La Cité du Vin is.
And they're not just tearing down the old stuff.
No, they're actively protecting the old piers, the cranes, the basins themselves, and integrating that industrial heritage into the new eco-district.
Okay, but what about the post-war housing estates? Mériadeck and Grand Park.
Now that's the real challenge. These were influenced by CIM, the International Congresses of Modern Architecture.
Which is pretty much the polar opposite of classic Bordeaux. All function standardization.
Right. And Mériadeck in particular is a slab-based district, these huge uniform blocks. For a long time, they were seen as being outside the city's heritage. But now they're starting to get heritage protection.